country, but the executive director says the UN agency has come to an agreement with the government so the group can extend to 1 million more Syrians in need. Ertharin has just returned from visiting a refugee camp in Turkey. She joins me now live from Geneva in Switzerland. Ertharin, first of all, just outline what you found at those camps. We have seen from Nick Payton-Walsh and others some rather dreadful scenes in terms of the shelter and the shelter that is able to withstand the conditions in some of those camps. What's being done? What did you see?
Well, this was my about third visit now into the area, my first visit into Turkey. And the camp that I visited yesterday in Turkey, in fact, was one of the best camps I've ever had the opportunity to travel to talk to those seeking asylum. Instead of tents, they are in containers, which means that they're out of the elements of winter, because winter is now set in, as opposed to, unfortunately, the camp that I visited in Jordan, the Ertharin camp, which is a tent camp, and as well as the weather has changed, it has become much more difficult for those who are living there, and the conditions have become much harsher. And
so what's being done about that from your perspective? What have you seen being done, and not just with shelter, but food as well? And we have seen your food cards in action in some of those camps.
In the camp in Kilis, where I visited yesterday, we have an electronic e-cards program where the refugees can actually go into the grocery stores, and this camp had 5 grocery stores in it, and they can purchase their own food. We load approximately 80 Turkish dollars per month to the card per person for an average family of 4. That gives them significant dollars to meet their own food needs, cook their own food. In the Jordan camp, we are actually providing the food to the refugees. In Lebanon, we are providing a paper voucher. So we're using every tool and tactic available to ensure that we're meeting the food assistance needs of those who are seeking asylum outside of Syria.
And the situation is desperate for refugees, not just outside the borders, but inside the country as well, the internally displaced and those who are still in their own homes who are having a hard time. What's your read on what's happening there, and what sort of advances are being done to get some assistance to those people?
Well, yesterday when I was in the camp in Kilis, Turkey, one of the refugees said to me, "We're eating every day. Our children are healthy. We need you to help our brothers and sisters inside Syria." And WFP is working to do just that. To date, we've been feeding 1.5 million Syrians inside the country on a monthly basis. We've now been given the authority to partner with an additional 110 NGOs in the country who will help us exceed that 1.5 million number and actually reach 2.5 million Syrians inside the country. The unfortunate issue is that many of those inside the country are not in their homes anymore. Of the 1.5 we've been feeding to date, 1.1 of them are internally displaced persons, living in schools and other facilities wherever they can because their homes have been destroyed.
And just very quickly, too, I'm interested in your personal take on those you met when you were there, because it's not just about food and shelter. There's an awful lot of talk about the emotional harm and psychological harm that's being done, especially to children.
This camp, the Kilis camp, was a place where many of these children have been living here for a year or more. And there are grammar schools, there's a high school, there's recreation centers, there's a playground. I saw happy children. I saw healthy babies in this camp. That is not the case inside Syria today in too many of the neighborhoods, and we're working to change that situation for those children.
All right, appreciate your time. Ertharin, the Executive Director of the World Food Programme. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Well, Americans have had a month to process what happened at the Sandy Hook Elementary School